Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're going to dig into a really fascinating case study that completely redefines what it means to heal by building this amazing bridge between our physical health and our personal story. So let's just start with a puzzle. How can parts of your life that seem totally disconnected, your medical chart and your deepest memories, how can they actually be two sides of the very same coin? This explainer dives into a case where that exact connection became the absolute key to recovery. Okay, so here's a little snapshot of a real person's health history. You see neurological damage right there on a brain scan. And then, on the other hand, this profound fatigue, diagnosed as adrenal failure. That's basically where the glands that manage your stress just burn out. Now, traditional medicine might look at these as two totally separate things, but here they were seen as clues in a much, much bigger mystery. So let's get into it. We're looking at the case of a man we'll call Bob Hartley. And his health presented this deep, complex puzzle that really spanned his body, his mind, and his spirit. It was a challenge for his entire care team to find a single, unifying story. And believe me, this puzzle was incredibly complex. This slide just shows how wide-ranging the issues were. We're talking everything from a mechanical heart valve and multiple bone fractures to these really deep-seated feelings of shame and grief. So the challenge wasn't just to treat each symptom one by one, it was to understand the single, unified story they were all telling together. So how do you even begin to solve a puzzle like this? Well, Bob's team didn't just stick to the standard medical playbook. They used a really unique lens, a set of powerful metaphors designed to build a bridge between the cells in his body and the story of his life. Okay, so the first tool they pulled out is this framework they call washers and bolts. And just think of it like this. It's a way to map out the, let's call it structural integrity of a person's inner world, figuring out the key events that really hold them together. So let's break this down, right? Small washers, those are the minor insights that kind of steady us. Big washers, well, those are the huge, life-defining events, the painful ones and the beautiful ones. And bolts, those represent the mending, the repair work that holds it all together in just the right way. All right, next up, they brought in another idea, this one called pouring the vessel. And this was designed to tackle those long-held emotional burdens, the kind of stuff we all carry around that can really weigh down our physical health. And the process here, it's actually pretty simple, but it's also incredibly profound. Step one, recognize what needs to be cleansed, old promises, shame, that feeling that you have to do everything yourself. Step two, you actively release it. You pour out things like over-responsibility. And step three, you intentionally replace it with something new, something like rest and gentleness. Okay, now this is where it all starts to click. This is where the whole approach becomes truly transformative. We're about to see these direct, almost undeniable lines being drawn between what's happening in the body and what's going on in the soul. Just look at this. It's the perfect illustration of that connection. So the medical finding, a brain scan showing 7 damaged areas, pointing to a brain that's just been in total overdrive. The spiritual parallel? A pattern of constant doing instead of being, a soul just striving and becoming completely exhausted in the process. See the link? Now, let's talk about the heart. Medically speaking, Bob had a mechanical heart valve replacement. That's a fact. But in this framework, it became this powerful symbol. A heart that was literally rebuilt was seen as a sign of this profound divine renewal and craftsmanship. So you see the pattern here, right? The crucial takeaway is that the body's systems were literally telling a story. That crushing fatigue and adrenal failure, that wasn't just a random diagnosis. No, it was the physical echo of a soul exhausted from decades of relying only on its own strength. The body had finally just collapsed under that weight. So you might be wondering, how does all this deep, integrated insight actually turn into a real, practical plan? Because it's not just about ideas, right? It's about creating a roadmap to actually get better. Well, for starters, it begins by building a team that's actually unified. And I mean really unified. You can see here, everyone from the functional medicine doctor and the trauma specialist to the chiropractor and the health coach, they're all connected, all sharing information, and all working toward the exact same whole person goal. And this right here, this is the absolute heart of the plan. I want you to really look at this. Notice how every single physical goal has a corresponding piece of inner work. So balancing cortisol in the body is paired with releasing the fear of collapse in the heart. Planning for surgery is paired with learning to trust others to help carry the pain. Body and heart are healing in tandem. So all of this, it's building to a conclusion that completely reframes what we even think healing is. This isn't just about fixing a problem. We're talking about a complete transformation.
And here's the ultimate takeaway. True healing isn't some mechanical repair job, like you're a car getting broken parts fixed. It's a dynamic journey of renewal, where the goal isn't just to get back to who you were, but to become someone entirely new, from the inside out.
A quote from one of the sessions just captures this perfectly. Suddenly, a routine blood test isn't just data on a page. It's a milestone, another verse being written in a sacred story of renewal and resurrection. And that leaves us with a powerful question, not just for this case, but for all of us. What if our symptoms, our aches, our exhaustion, what if they aren't just problems to be solved? What if they're actually invitations to look deeper, to find that connection between ourselves and our story, and to begin the work of rewriting it?